Alright folks, we're gonna be playing a Modern League with this deck that I've been working on. A green-white Reclaimer, very similar to Titan Vial. I'm kind of trying to go for that angle. It's just, we're just changing lands for the Aether Vials. Not sure how much that will help and make things better or worse, but I'm eager to find out. In the previous league that I played with this deck, I made a couple of changes since then. I'm using some Thalias. There's a lot of very fast combo decks right now in the format, Upsal spells, etc. So we're gonna see how things go. So this is Lurrus. This hand is not very good. Lurrus is a very good legacy player. But he's saying in chat that Legacy feels a little bit too stale for him. That sucks. Not sure what we're gonna be calling for here. Soul Scar is kind of annoying. Thalia is interesting here. I feel like I don't want to call for Reclaimer until I can make it a 4 toughness creature. Apparition is also pretty interesting. Buys me a non-zero amount of time. I'm gonna go for Thalia. Oh, Springbloom! Springbloom was the pick. Oh, I saw it too late. Feels bad, man. I saw it too late. Springbloom was 100% the pick. Oh, I would be in such good shape if I had gotten Springbloom. Feels bad. I mean, it's not the worst, but... So I guess that he's playing the Shadow decks because he shocked for no reason there, so... We probably don't have to expect Lava Darts, which is potentially good for us. He attacks them, definitely not blocking. I want him to use a removal spell on the Thalia. Yeah, okay. Alright, so Tracker... Stone, skip this one. Gonna get a couple of clues here. I guess Thalia wasn't the worst there, huh? Give me a little bit of a boost. Springbloom would have been obviously a lot better, but not the absolute worst. So let's crack this first, see what we draw. We're gonna hope that he doesn't have a Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize will be really bad for us here. But I'm playing to my outs here. Okay, so call for prime time. Let's do Temple Garden. Untap. Play this. Name Giant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if they had Battle Rage, we would have lost on the previous turn. So I think I'm gonna go for second field plus Blast Zone. This, of course, gives me an answer for all their dudes. It gives me a blocker for each one of their dudes. And also allows me to Blast Zone the shadows as well. This is the Stringer command, yeah. So again, we cannot beat TBR, so I'm not playing around it. I am acting as if my opponent doesn't have it. Because if they do, we just lose. That makes things really easy now. Father good. What do I think about this version of Shadow? I think it's probably like the best version of Shadow in a long time. I think it's very, very good. How do we feel about Tiggerino? About Tig, I meant about Eidolon. I don't know why I said Tig. It was just in front of me, so I just said Tig, but I meant Eidolon. How do we feel about Eidolon? I definitely don't want Archon. Like, just dying to Lightning Bolt is a little bit too much of a hassle, but Eidolon is potentially reasonable. Nah, Gargaroth is too small. If 5 mana 6/6 is just too small against my opponent's deck. It's basically a chump blocker. I want all the cards that I play to just give me value on ETB or give me value otherwise, right? Like Steve, Courser. Probably we can cut Ramen up. And Reclaimer is probably just too good to not play. Maybe even Dryad can go. We can play 3 Dryads. We have 8 removal spells here. Maybe Thalia can go. We need Wall of Shards. Damn, going deep. I think I'm gonna keep this. I don't mind Reclaimer being a Lightning Rod for removal there. I mean, I would have liked it if it survived, obviously, but... I think we just go for Titan now. Also, Mana. Jack, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome all 11 of you. Play some green-white. Green-white Titan. Am I supposed to path here? Am I supposed to block? We can block here and path if my opponent does anything. We can also just take it. I think I'm just gonna take it and see what my opponent does. Like, obviously I shocked to play that, so my opponent knows that I have something, but... I guess that's a card that they play, huh? I guess that's a card that we have to play around. Good to know, good to know. What's up, JC? Done prepping for this weekend. 5-0, then 4-0 from one to play. Nice, 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 nice. Which list are you playing? I imagine you're talking about AmuLIT, but... Got my latest merch drop, it's sweet. What are you talking about? Okay. Let's see what we got. Oh, this hand is delightful. Let's keep it. I mean, it's not that good, but I mean, we have Splinter Twin. We don't pass up on hands with Splinter Twin, right? Don't bolt my dude. Come on, Lurrus. Bailout for Chameleon Colossus. I mean, I do expect this deck to be very popular, so it doesn't surprise me to see people playing the Colossus. Is that a good draw? Was that a good draw, chat? God damn it, dude. Oh, it's a good draw. That's a good fucking draw. God damn it, so sick. God damn it, such a good draw. Just your casual 1 mana double rampant growth. All right, any untap land, and we're gonna be in good shape here. Any untap land. Let's kill this now. Well, we cannot get blessinged. We cannot get blessinged. Have you ever brick lethal for like 15 draws, then finally kill your TNT opponent? Been there, done that, my friend. Stupid TNT players. Is this gonna be the Scourge? The 1 mana, the 1/1 Scourge? I'm gonna pass here because I'm not discarding the fact that I might be pathing my own Dryad just so I can guarantee Titan mana next turn. There's no way I'm doing that, right? Like with a path, yeah, like there's just no need for me to do anything like that. With double removal spell now. Yeah, let's just chill. was still tuned like every 2 minutes. It was great, really fun stream today. Sick. Green-white control. Green-white control gets there. How did the Kiki Core league though? Not very well, Ivan. As you know, I used to be fond of the Kiki Core strategies back in the day. You know that better than anyone, but the deck has not aged particularly well. To remove against that deck seems good. The fact that it's all exile as well, right? It's all exile removal spells. So it just worked out great. Gonna get a Temple Garden here. Pog. Actually, I think I'm gonna attack here because I'm gonna cast Thalia. We get got by exactly Spell Snare. That's a risk I'm willing to take. It's just so good if this resolves. Now my opponent's pretty far behind. Stoneforge. It's kind of okay. Low weight blade in this economy. It's kind of weird, but get me them stones. I think I'm gonna get Field. It hides my plan a little bit better. And here they can't play the Batterskull and answer my Thalia and play and equip the sword, so I think I'm just gonna pass here. Just play second Reclaimer. I'm not playing around a sweeper from them. This damage doesn't matter at all. Oh, Bant! Interesting. So worth thinking of the follow. So they're playing Uro? No blocks. So this is 5. So we should be able to trigger double field here. So I'm just gonna pass. Sure, I guess that's a card. Yeah, that's fine. Is my opponent playing some Soulherder nonsense? Should I play around Ephemerate and shit? Guess I'm going to. Getting wrecked by Audacity. Feels technology, man. Feels technology, man. I block you. This is not double strike, right? No, it's just first strike. Okay, sweet. So we get 2 activations in response. So even if my opponent does something here, always yield. Okay, copy this. Look at here. Again, I'm killing their stuff because I don't know if they have removal in hand. At this point, I'm pretty sure that they don't. But up until that point, I wasn't 100% sure. And now we have double activation in the tank. Skyclave Apparition. So we're just gonna do this. Gonna get the last stones. Trigger. And then sack this. Oh, I guess I missed lethal. It's okay. Because I could have gotten another Valakut. I mean, I think it's probably, I'm probably far ahead enough. I'm probably far ahead enough at this point that I can make that mistake. Okay, so oof. That's the easy one. Now what else? Archon. I don't think I care about Archon too much. Thalia seems... I want to think that Thalia did a lot of work there. Elder Gargs seems pretty bad against my opponents. Pass to Exile deck. Might want to cut Steve. Maybe add the Tracker Reno. The classic Tracker Collector Oof combo deck. I think I'm just gonna do this though. I don't think my opponent has field. Their mana seem to be a little bit stressed. I'm gonna play the Ooze because they might be playing Eternal Witness and stuff like that. I guess I'm gonna actually cut this too. Generous Gift is interesting, but I don't think it's gonna be good enough. Okay. Not the best draw, but at least it allows me to operation on 3 if I have to. May have Snake here. Okay, so it has to be some kind of Soulherder deck. It has to be some kind of Soulherder deck. I'm gonna get a Reclaimer if this resolves, so I can Dryad plus Reclaimer. Present 2 threats. It's actually not a bad one. So if they want to gust this, they have to. That's their entire turn. Queller. That's a card. Remember when people played this card? When they like legit played it? Those were the times. Another one. Gust. Played against 2 Queller decks today. That's a thing, I guess. So with any land, I can Dryad plus Skyclave here. Okay, so there's the Soulherder. How are we actually winning the race? I missed that. I missed the part where we were actually winning this race. I guess they just like fetch shock like crazy. About to break the keyboard. I mean, if you have any other program that you can use instead of Audacity, that's fine. They could have Benser, which would actually be pretty bad for us here. No, I misclicked. God damn it. Well, now my opponent's winning the race. Shit. Gavany Township. Gavany Township is what's going on? Hell yeah, opponent. I guess they were winning the race all along. What am I doing here? Vesuva. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Vesuva plus Sanctuary saves me. On Plus they have another flyer, obviously. They're playing Coco? Jeez. Is that lethal? It's actually not lethal by 1. That's awesome. Oh, what? That's actually lethal. Ah, that makes me so sad. We even had the Ghost Squatter to blow up their own Thin Ice. But they just found all 4 Ice Fangs. Brutal. Gabony Township winning a match of Modern in 2020. My opponent's playing a snow deck with like Ice Fangs and shit. They're playing a snow deck that wants to get basics, which is 3 colors, which also apparently plays colorless lands. Jeez. The greed is real. So does Collected Company make me want more Thalia? Makes me want Thalia more or makes me want Thalia less is the question. I feel like I like Gargs. Yeah, I think I actually want Thalia more, particularly on the play. That was really interesting. We are on the play. Yeah, let's keep this. They have Hierarch. They also have Field of Ruin? Holy shit. That's so greedy. That is such a greedy mana base. It's kind of insane. You have Company. Well, if we path now, we force them to Coco here. An Apparition, the Soulherder. I love it when you exile the Soulherder, he actually triggers. For whatever reason, I find that very, very funny. Maybe I should have gotten Dryad there. No, I think that's fine. So we're trading with an Ice Fang here. Maybe actually it's a bad trade for us now that I think about it. It speeds up their clock a little bit. I definitely don't care about the 2/2, but I do care about the 3/3 that they're getting here. Okay. Get me there, good old Gargs. Yep. Displace our own Queller, but we get super got by Aether Gust. We get super got by Aether Gust here. Is it that bad, Jack? Do you have any other program that you can use? They whiffed on the company straight up? That's kind of insane. I think we trade here, actually. I mean, they clearly don't have an answer to this, otherwise... Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take it. Because then we can crack Blast Zone and blow up all their 1/1s. Too bad that we have to use it to gain life. I guess I should have used it to draw a card because I have Night of Autumn. If we end up with this Reclaimer, we're going to be in really, really good shape, though. That's bad. Apparition, your apparition. Is the name of the game. Best draw, wow. It's probably Valakut at this point. Alright, we got God. Rough. Pretty rough. I wonder if we could have done something different there. Because I felt like we should have been in fine shape. I guess if I had drawn with the... Gargs, maybe that would have allowed me to be in a slightly better shape. It's an interesting thought. Meaning to be the Soulherder deck for a while, and Apparition seems sweet. Yeah, Apparition is like incredible. It's been very, very, very good. Flagstone's best draw, easy. Just gotta know what you want, you know. Once you know what you want, you can top deck it perfectly on the nick of time. What is this? What do you got for me, opponent? Safe, hold, elite. Okay, so my opponent's playing some sort of combo deck. We're doing this. That's the easy part. If we had another untap source, this would be easy, but unfortunately we don't. So I guess that we have to get another flagstones here, and this is. And if we find another untap source, we're gonna be in really, really good shape. Oh, I guess that's also pretty good, huh? Holy crap! Like this card has been doing really well for me. Your audio straight up isn't available. You have to be kidding me, man. Again? Same thing? What happened now? I guess we can't really sequence this in a way that will give us the result that we want, right? Jenny, have no idea. I just went to open it and Audacity just says it doesn't exist. Okay, so we have lethal next turn. And we can kill any sort of nonsense they play this turn as well. Did you save? Did you do both things? Did you export the audio and then you also saved the actual session? I don't know what my opponent's trying to do here. Do you think I'm not just going to kill all your dudes for value? Like, do you think that's just not what I'm gonna do here? Do you even know who I am, opponent? Of course I'm gonna go for the flawless victory. What kind of person in their right mind would not go for the flawless? Pew pew. Whatever my opponent is doing, Scavenging Genius is going to be good against. They are probably playing a rally deck, which means Teague just locks them out in terms of their combo potential. I could also see Archon being good. A couple of Purges. They definitely have black creatures that they're going to be playing. My opponent is playing white. They moved to 6. Sure, let's keep it. I am that greedy. Yeah, this is the boldest of keeps. I mean, we kind of know for a fact that my opponent is going to have a white source on 1, right? That's the easy part. That opens up for us to play field here. Maybe we should have played Valakut. The fact that all my removal exiles is such a big deal in so many matchups, it's really funny. We just continuously run into situations where the exile clause is super relevant. We found our green source here, by the way, right? Now we can use Vesua to copy flagstones and get a green source through there. All right, what is this? Solemnity. I don't even know what that's gonna do to me. I'm just gonna pass this dude anyway. So I guess if they find Fire Action on life, we might be in trouble. Snow-covered forest. Okay, so we're gonna start triggering Field of the Dead now. Opponent is down to 1 card in hand. We still have 1 operation in the deck in case we need to exile something on life. Okay, so we're gonna have to figure that out, I guess. Okay. So I guess that's their combo with this. So now we just need to get them to 0, and then we have to blow up the Unlife with the other Skyclave. We have Skyclave. They just top decked it? Well, F me, I guess. Okay, so the purges are really bad. We can cut those. And of course, Knight of Autumn is a card that we're gonna want to keep. Same with Generous Gift. Oof also stops their combo potential. I think I'd rather use like Knight of Autumn and stuff. Galactic can go. We could just have Oof in there, just chilling. Instead of Courser of Crufix. Opponent's deck seems just a tiny bit all over the place. But it's cool. Doing something pretty interesting. I guess Blaston was another way to answer whatever they were doing. They got my call. Good thing is we can't really get comboed out. Now the Inquisition is rough. Okay, so I'm assuming that they have some form of removal for this. Because there's no way that they're able to assemble the combo before. Before this Dryad becomes important. Decent chant. Alright, let's go. That's not a card that you see every day, huh? How the mighty have fallen. That you don't really see decent chant anymore. So I guess I should name Spirit with this Cavern of Souls. Also, isn't Carrion Feeder like a sick number with... Isn't Carrion Feeder like a big number with Solemnity? Is that how that works? Yeah, we have to name Spirit here. Because we don't have double white just yet. I might need to blow up this blast zone. We're gonna see how that goes. Hopefully I don't have to. Take it up to 3 and hold. I don't think that's the play. This is just fine, right? Because we just kill this. We can also just do nothing and just wait, because we can make infinite chump blockers. That, for example, is a way to fix it. In fact, we do this. We double block here. If they go sack the persist gobbo. No. Damn it, I forgot that I had auto yielded to all of those things. Fuck. That sucks. I forgot that I had auto yielded. Oh, that's brutal. Because now their dude is gonna be able to survive. Kind of annoying. I guess I'm gonna have to blow this up. Also already going to survive. Yeah, if my opponent goes, oh, they sacrifice the goblin for good, right? If they wanted this to survive, they would have had to sacrifice the goblin for good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going for prime time here. So I'm just gonna pass. We have to hope that they don't draw exactly Thoughtseize. If they draw exactly Thoughtseize, that sucks. Double on life. Sounds good. Opponent's deck is a little bit sketch. Like, it's cute and everything, but I think that it's hoping a little bit too much. I don't know if they have ways to like get back their dudes or anything, so I'm just gonna go with Bog plus Field. I don't know if they have like Rally the Ancestors or stuff like that, so now we just get rid of the Carrion Feeder for good. No need to worry about that. I think they just messed up their sequencing pretty badly, right? If they had played their stuff the other way around. They would have been able to reset the Putrid Gobbo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Definitely want to leave the Vesuva in the deck because of Pachuca Ball, which just allows us to stop their combo. I don't have Blasto anymore, so that's not an out. So if they do find Solemnity, we're gonna have to wait. Just wait a bunch. Opponent's deck is cool. I like what they're doing. What's up, Sergio? Safe hold elite. Now they can get an infinitely large dude, but I just block it. We have infinite zombies to block, so we just swing for very, very lethal next turn. And they're out of cards, so this is just guaranteed. Do you feel Covenant of Souls is strictly necessary since we don't play Vials? Not necessarily. Oh, you're coming from YouTube, Kikan? Sweet. Welcome to the stream. They were going to see if I managed to if I somehow missed luck there. I respect that. Playing against Friedmania. Friedmania frequents the stream. They were actually doing really well the previous season, getting a whole bunch of trophies with AmuLIT. No, I'm not playing Vials right now. If you want to check out the list, you can do it there. Elf. Uncounterable Reclaimer, Uncounterable Springbloom Druid. Hell yeah. That's bad for us. I think I just have to YOLO. I just have to hope that they don't have Titan mana. They don't have the actual Titan in hand just yet. Because the problem is that if I spend this turn go squattering, then we just fall behind. And we just fall further and further behind as time goes by. But this actually allows me now to pull a little bit further ahead because I can actually get my mana going. So we got beautifully rewarded here. Awesome, awesome. No skids today. No skids today, no. Just gonna get another stones. Let's blow that up. And the question now is, am I supposed to go squatter then, or am I supposed to play an ETB tap land? They didn't have the Titan last turn, right? Though it's also possible that they just didn't have the land either. So I guess that we have to go squatter. Not really into the Stone Age. They're like two land drops away from Titan. So it's not really like they're going back to the Stone Age. Like they still have Titan mana next turn. Druid. We go up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Next turn we can call plus Raminap. That seems to be the line. Raminap or try it. Yeah, depending on what my opponent does. But it gives us options. Susa. Well, that's good for me. That is certainly good for me. Yeah, so they could have Titan. So they clearly are missing a Titan. That's the only missing piece for them. So I guess we're going for... We have to try it, right? Assemble together a non-optimized version of Clopak. Please add fancy new lip lens that you believe is required. Okay, Stabs. Yeah, I messaged you earlier when we were before the stream. I'm not gonna have time to stream it today, but I was planning on streaming it today. You got a badge for 10k bits. Thank you so much, Stabs. Really appreciate it. What am I doing here? So 1, 2, 3. I think we tracker plus elf plus land. And if they take this, Dryad is lethal by itself next turn. Yeah. Handle radioactive water and chemicals all day. Wow. Don't want to handle your phone while doing that. I trust you, my friend. That sounds like something you don't want to mess with. But now, because we have double Reclaimer, we can just Reclaimer for... We can call for Dryad on end step. We Reclaimer. We play Dryad, we Reclaimer with one, get Valakut, we Reclaimer with the other one, get second Valakut, kill them. We have X-axis. Unless my opponent somehow gains life here. In which case, instead of killing them, I'm going to kill the Titan, obviously. Pays the bill and my subscription bits on Twitch. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so we're getting hasted here, which is kind of whatever. And now this is their third land drop, so they still have one more land drop. They know they're gonna trade here, so they are incentivized to go get T-West plus Simic here to set up the next Titan. They bog me and they field me. Okay. So now Pact doesn't even do it for them, because they cannot pay for Pact in their upkeep. Of course, make any updates you want to Clopak. I haven't really had time to look at it literally and what updates I've made. I didn't optimize mana base for. Okay. So yeah. Sky by blinking those new lands kills them if they're permanent on the other side. Yeah, we run into my Taxes opponent flicker wisping my turn timber the other day. What's Clopak? It's a deck that we played on stream. When was it? Was it last week? Maybe it was the week before. It's a lot of fun. Oh, sure. Can we talk about how sick Reclaimer really is as a card? Is Reclaimer the best design card of all time? We can even get zombies while doing this. Pog. Pew. This deck is so sick. I love this deck so much. I love this deck so much. Alright, Mind Sensor. Let's fucking go. Generous Gift. That's kind of it. Archon is actually pretty interesting. I'm gonna give Archon a shot. I'm not sold on it. Maybe it sucks. But there's only one way to find out, am I right? Making all of their that's what I'm thinking right now. Like making all of their lands enter the battlefield tapped unless they have an amulet. It's kind of sick. And then just making their pacts super awkward. I feel like I'm feeling the Archon. Not gonna lie. Also Operation, great. Knight, also pretty solid. I think this is what I'm doing. Much better with Vial, obviously. Oh yeah. Opponent cast Pact in response, Vial in Archon. Oh. Too exciting. Way too exciting. How do I feel about this hand? We're missing land drops. Yeah, let's ship it. I like this one better. Yeah. I thought I bottomed you. Well, shit. There's kind of no way around it, right? We can't. Like, if they do have another bounce land, we cannot stop them from getting Titan mana. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we fall behind. Yeah, it's just bad. I don't like where this is going, chat. This is not going to a nice place. Just isn't. I think I'm gonna have to pass the prime time, which means that we're gonna get kind of a beating, but then I can use the knight to kill the Dryad. Yeah, it's literally my only shot, right? For them to not have anything left. Regal Skiing, thank you for the follow. But they already used their land drops, so now we pass the Titan, they get 2 triggers. And if they don't have another Titan, we have a shot. They're gonna kill my Reclaimer. And ping me for 3. I mean, they have one of their cards in hand, we know it's a Vesuva. If they just have a knife, yeah, I'm just gonna pack it in. We could not win this game, we're just too far behind. Well, we gave ourselves a shot. We gave ourselves a shot. Yeah. Thoughts on playing Breeding Pool negates versus Sacred Foundry Boils in the side? You're gonna have to give me some context. What are we talking about here? Are we talking about Green White Titan? What's your question about Regal's King? Gonna need you to help me out a little bit. Okay, slow start from OP. That's a pretty good one, particularly if my opponent plays an AmuLIT here, we get to blow that up. I still displaying Foundry and Boil in the side. Yes, that's kind of like... I don't know if it's correct to call it the stock version, but it's like the stockest of versions, I guess. Good slothy boy. Here's Dryad. Well, with my opponent's current situation, I think I'm going to blow up the AmuLIT instead of the Dryad. We might get punished by this for sure, but good groves. This might easier splash because you first off flex and you recon makes red mana. Yeah, I mean you can play a Hallowed Fountain, right? But of course the easiest colors to splash is the red one because you're naturally playing Valakuts. You play Foundry over Stomping Ground because you can get it off Flagstones. You cannot get Stomping Ground off Flagstones. I think I'm gonna get another Flagstones here. Man, this is a really tough one. I think I'm supposed to blow up the AmuLIT. I'm not sure about this one at all, by the way. It's also likely, like, with my opponent using Vesuva as their land, that's what kind of made me want to blow up the AmuLIT. Oh, wow. That's fucking gross. At least they blew up their own Gracer, am I right? Things are not looking good here, chat. Okay. So now they can't cast Titan this turn unless they have another AmuLIT plus Bounce Land, or they have exactly Basic Forest. And there's the AmuLIT. I got the matchups to be difficult, like it will X-Ray, but beyond that, it's stuff. Yeah, combo matchups are bad. But even historically, they've been bad for this kind of deck. So it's correct for me to do this now. But if I draw a Dryad, it's better for me not to do this. So I have 4 Dryads and 4... I have 4 Dryads and 4 Eladamri's Skull. I guess Eladamri's Skull doesn't work because of Archon. I think we have to untap there. That's an interesting one. Archon doing something, huh? So the highest EV line is for me to blow up their bounce land, right? So I am forcing them to top deck exactly bounce land. Because otherwise they are actually behind on mana. To Titan, so they need to draw exactly bounce land. You see, now they just don't have Titan mana here. Is it just me or the format's been slowly turning all legacy-like? It's been getting legacy-ier. I'll tell you that much. It's been getting legacy-ier. Alright, I did what I could. I feel like if we had drawn a Dryad at any point, or if we had drawn... yeah, my opponent drew land into land, which is exactly what I needed to not happen, so... But if I had blown up the Dryad, I'm still losing to the Titan, and my opponent would have had access to Titan mana. Yeah, it's... We just need to draw a little bit better there. We just need to draw a little bit better. We drew... I was trying to set myself up to draw a Dryad or a Eladamri's Skull or a Titan, but it just didn't happen. Sad face. Down to 2-2. Should we have killed him because you did use it for... We couldn't. It doesn't matter whatsoever. My opponent did not use the mana that I allowed them to have that one turn, so... His hand sounds a little bit too slow. This is slightly better. Would I rather have a Natty Bog or Vesuva? Vesuva allows me to apparition, so I guess that's my answer. If we're put against something like Dredge, of course we get punished, but... How's the AmuLIT matchup? To be fair, Fruitmania, isn't this like the first time that you've actually beaten me whenever we have played on stream? I feel like I have beaten you every other time that we faced each other on stream. Spell Snare? Pog? So I guess that people are not playing Sword of Feast and Famine anymore. They're playing the new rare one, the new rare thing. Pretty cool. Being able to just like kill a Stoneforge Mystic on turn 3 just like that and be ahead on board. Pretty sweet exchange if you ask me. We're definitely going to be holding on to this Knight of Autumn until my opponent plays a sword or something, and if they don't have a sword then probably going to be in fine shape. Another Stoneforge. It's kind of annoying actually. And also the second Stoneforge explains why my opponent went for the Battle Skull, even if they have the Feast and Famine. Yeah, which they do. Okay. Okay. Multi 6 against the Stoneforge deck is not a great place to be though. What's up, Avidis? It's your question. I'm playing our own force here by not doing this. Oh wow. So I guess the reason for this is that they have a land, so they want to be able to play an equip. That Field of Ruin is brutal actually. Field of Ruin is pretty brutal. So I think I need to Laxac here. Just gonna discard this Vesuva. But I think that we kind of just have to hope that this prime time resolves. Which doesn't seem too likely. Unless we draw something good here, which we didn't. Guess we can go for this. Place from mana leak and remand. If they have Cryptic, we're probably losing this game, which is what they have. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give myself one more turn, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to raise the Battle Skull once it's yielding the sword. I cannot raise that, so. Iron all of the one of like apparition and kind of hold on due to the and weaken the dross. What? You mean just like adding cards like this? These cards have been very good for me. They have been quite powerful. I've been able to answer stuff that I wouldn't otherwise be able to answer easily. Well, let's just ship one path. So I feel like, on the contrary, like Skyclay Operation has helped out a lot in a variety of matchups. I've been able to like exile Belchers. We played against the Upsal Spells deck today. We also were able to exile that thingy that they play. What is it? The 3 mana guy that they activate and you lose. You could maybe cut the Knight of Autumn. I feel like you have relevant targets against the majority of the metagame. You do have a lot of relevant targets for Knight of Autumn. So it's been okay. Knight is only bad against decks like even against Tron it's okay. But against stuff like Storm, for example, and their Apparition really shines against those kind of decks. It gives you a main deck answer to their dorks. Spike with this inscription. Tier 1 sub for 6 months. Thank you so much, Spike. How's it going? 104.3a. Indeed. I just made use of the best rule in Magic. These are answer cards, not question cards. Yeah, I know. But it answers the answer cards that people have against us. Now you can have all the question cards that you want, but if your opponent plays a Blood Moon, you're fucked, right? If your opponent plays a Baral, you can have all the threats that you want in hand, but you're just dead. And they are two-door targets, right? It's not like it's part of the game plan. You can just ignore those and just play green-white, like the Titan version of green-white Reclaimer. I'm trying out this version because I like it and it fits my playstyle better. But I'm not saying that it's better. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but... We're getting past here? That's a lot worse than getting past. Oh, okay. That one's interesting. Can we find the land, please? Can we please find the land? Land. Fuck. Land, please. Thank you. I think in response to the cycle, I'm gonna gift something to my opponent. Questions have answers, so ever asking a question when you already have the answer, now that's a statement. That's a great phrase. I love that. Oh, no second land you say, opponent, huh? No second land you say, huh? No third land, I guess, not second. Now Reclaimer is big enough to to take care of the elephant, which is pretty exciting. Elephant is such a coward. So they 100% have Aether Gust. So we're gonna have to maneuver this in the best possible way. So end step, let's call for Dryad. Spell Snare. So that means no Gust. Heyo. Not excited about sacrificing in the Ghost Quarter there, but I think it's my best alternative. It's pretty good. So we're gonna get Sanctuary here, and I'm gonna Resolve Archon. So do you play Beta Forest in paper? If not the forest, do you own in paper that you love? Beta Forest. This specific art is my favorite one. Beta Forest is the truth. Wow. It's very, very interesting that they could have pathed the Reclaimer and didn't. Huh. What does that even mean? wild. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Start here. Then we do this. They have to do something here. Recently found the Euro-Asia Pacific lands and the Sunflower Plains are gorgeous. Yeah, this has some pretty true statements. I don't think the 3 damage that I deal matter as much as the 3 damage that my opponent could deal if they have an answer to the Dryad. Trying pretty hard to not care about this shark. 3. Got a second Dryad in play. So now we pass the turn. They have to do something here. Otherwise, we're just going to be able to answer their board and just keep moving further and further ahead. They didn't use their mana at all. That's a really good sign for us. So they're gonna need to double path me right now. And even when they double path me, we still get to answer probably the shark. Seems like the most threatening. Big fan of 001, 005 standard short and Guai Plains. It reminds me of a forest. Yeah, I've been enjoying lately the what's his name? I've been enjoying the Lurrus, yeah. That expansion has some really sweet basic cards. Okay, another Dryad here. Another call. 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So if this goes through, we have lethal now. So we force my opponent to have 3 answers here. So now we do this. suck. Get to Vesuva, copy in Sanctuary. This is 2 triggers. Pew and Pew. Or we just bounce and replay the same one until they dead. Alright, Generous Gift did some pretty serious work there. Generous Gift did some pretty insane work right there. I'm kind of thinking Mind Sensor a little bit. All right, last game. Last game. Can we get there? Get that 3 and 2. This has been some fun games though. That is for sure. Been enjoying these games a lot. All right, opponent, let's go. Face the fury of the Reclaimer. It's a little bit too slow. We're gonna ship it. Hopefully my opponent moves to 6 so we have sweet, so we have an even game. Okay. Okay. I think we bottom the Dryad. We can go get it if we need to. How's the cover main? Yeah. It hasn't been great. It's probably been the worst land in the deck. It's kind of awkward because we have so many different types. So that makes things a little bit more strange, you know? Yeah. Turn 2 Stoneforge. It's gonna be tough. Unless they just have no answer to my Skyclave. We fit in a no nothing in this list. Damn. You just want my deck that has a good Ponza matchup to have a bad Ponza matchup. GG, I know that. This is all an elaborate way to get to screw me. Upvote. Get out of here, you Ponza lovers. Get out of here. What are we calling for? Honestly, I kind of want to call for a Reclaimer. Not for this turn, but for the next turn. And I'm gonna jam Apparition here because I feel like we fall pretty far behind if I cannot answer this. And if my opponent spends mana to answer the Apparition, that means that they're not playing the Battle Skull, etc. So, all right, so it resolved. I don't care about the school too much for now. Sword of Feast and Famine is the only thing that really matters here. Does my opponent have the Sword of Feast and Famine, or do they not? It's pretty much the only question. Blade Dry, we can cast Abnath. I mean, I guess that's technically true. That is technically true. I've found myself a couple of times in a situation like this where I really wish we had access to Eternal Witness. That is one that I wish we had access to. Not all the time, but sometimes. Bounce my apparition opponent. Damn it, they saw the line. I know, they make the good play. Damn it, opponent. Why you're not an idiot, opponent? Again, they made the right play. My opponent's so good. My opponent is so good. We're probably gonna have to chomp with this apparition this turn, which is pretty bad. Remember when people didn't respect Reclaimer? Those were the days. I know. So many free wins. Because my opponent would not respect the Reclaimer. So many free wins. I guess we lose to Cryptic. They miss lethal. They miss lethal, chat. They miss lethal. Okay. All right, opponent. It is time. It is time for what you got? Gust. Path. Remand. Brutal. Are we dead now? We have one more turn. Gonna be pitching this to the sword that my opponent has over here. But we can actually block thanks to Archon. Well, then on we go. If this resolves, we win. Probably not going to, but my nether remand. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what they were so scared about. It was kind of strange. Not a great showing today, but that's okay. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. Funny enough, Cavern would have been pretty sick there, huh? Cavern would have been great. Unfortunately, we are a little bit all over the place with the Cavern, so I'm not sold whether we want to be playing that or not. Like, there's not a single creature type that gets repeated here. Elf is the very first one. Naga Cleric and Dryad. There's a Shaman. Nope, no other Shamans. Yeah, there's only exactly 2 creature types that get repeated. I guess human. I don't know how I feel about the Thalias. They did some work against some of the blue decks. But maybe we should be playing something else instead. There's no Rex Sage in the 75. Well, Knight of Honor is just better Rex Sage, right? In this deck, unlike in AmuLIT, yeah. In this deck, without AmuLIT, in AmuLIT, the reason to play Rex Sage is because you have you don't have access to white mana reliably. In this deck, you actually have very many ways to reliably access white mana, thanks to Steve, Reclaimer, Dryad, Ramunap, Druid. Like you have very many ways to get your white source under Blood Moon fairly easily. Deck needs vials. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. The Cavern did not impress, I'll tell you that much. It would have been good in that very last match, but it's sometimes awkward when you have like an Alhambra Skull, for example. So I'm not sold on this. Not sold on these. These two continue to impress, so I'm happy with this too. This one is okay. Maybe we can ship this one to the sideboard though, because now we can answer Blood Moons thanks to the apparition. So if we really need to answer Blood Moons, it's a little bit tougher to cast, however. Has Saving Mindsets been good for you? I've been thinking about giving it a shot in my Naya Hybrid. Like, it's just good against AmuLIT and like for the mirror matches, like against Titan decks. But it's not particularly great otherwise. Sometimes you just get to get a control deck, but it's not very common. It's not particularly common for that to happen. But yeah, these are the 3 question marks, kind of like this anti-control package of sorts. I don't know what I should be playing in place of it though. Maybe more Steves. Springbloom Druid, sorry, has been very, very good. So I definitely want to have access to the 1 copy of that guy. Explore is another option. Explorer is always so weird in this style of deck though. Wall of Roots. Like, Thalia makes so much more sense in Titan Vial, but it doesn't make as much sense in this build. It's only been one league, so maybe I can still like give it another shot with a list like this, but it didn't feel particularly exciting. I played against Sean earlier and they cast Explorer. The 19 land deck cast Explorer. That's too funny. Casandu Mammoth? Why? Like, it just doesn't do anything, particularly in a deck like this. The only reason why Explorer is good, while the Mammoth could be good, sorry, it's because of AmuLIT. So in a deck that doesn't have AmuLIT, it's like, I guess you can call for a tapped land. That's so bad. It just seems so terrible. We could play the Florahedron. That one I'm a little bit more excited about. That is a lot more interesting to me. Wait, are we playing Nexus of Fate in the board or playing Gaia's Blessing? I don't hate Skoo's main board. It's just so medium. We could try something like this next time, which is not gonna be today, so I have to go, but definitely an interesting thought experiment. This card has been okay. I have liked it so far. I've also got impaired against Storm and just drew this guy instead of this guy, and then like it just got operated, and I was very sad. But we love the 4-perch Cyber, just notice it both a shadow. I mean, you'd be surprised. Like those matchups are bad. Like that's why I am kind of overdoing it. But like those decks have more card advantage than we do, so it's pretty tough to keep up. Like when you're getting paired against prowess and you are in top deck mode, and they draw Season Pyromancer, you just want to cry. On the plus side, you just draw Primeval Titan and immediately stabilize, but we play less copies of those, and that only applies when we already have like 6 lands in play. Any time before that you top deck Primeval Titan, it's just a dead draw. So that makes things a little bit more awkward. What could be played in the board? Another apparition, maybe? Nah. What is Generous Gift? It's a Beast Within, but it's white. And it puts an elephant token instead of a beast token. But it's white, so it cannot get either gusted. That's the main difference. Also, it's hilarious, but the elephant is green, which I have no idea why. But whatever. Is it working better with 3 Titans than with 2? Well, this is not Titan Vial, but it's been okay. Oh, that's the other thing that we could do. If I don't like the Gust, the Ooze in the main deck, we can bring the Gargs back in, which I don't hate. And then in the board, also I was thinking about making a version of this with Yorion. It's probably gonna be worse, however. So that's the part that doesn't excite me too much, but still, I don't know. Can always splash red for Clothes. Nah, I'm not particularly excited about splashing colors in this kind of deck. Though I like Boil would be a good addition. Boil would be a pretty solid addition. If pause seat when I feel like I have run out of sit possibilities. Honestly, I kind of wish the Gracer were playable, man. I really wish that a Boyle Gracer would be a playable card that I would not feel embarrassed to put in my deck. Maybe Florahedron will take that spot. You know what? I'm moving in on Florahedron. Let's go. Let's try this. This is the list that I'm gonna try the next time I stream this list. Just might be on Tuesday, I think. I 3-bet like the Woodland Bellower was actually in my original list and it was consistently underwhelming, so that's why it ended up getting cut. So no, I actually don't like the. And also the reason why we have Castles is because it's an untapped green on turn 1 and it's a card that we can get off Flagstones. So Castle doesn't fix any of those issues. Castle is fine as a one-off, so when you're trying to set up a Titan, you can actually speed it up. But I really like the Nightlight card that you were playing. Yeah, but then like the matchups that I wanted that card in just like stopped existing, so I was like, okay, I guess that I'm gonna be playing something else instead. So now, like the Florahedrons mean that I'm playing 33 lands, which is great, and it also means that I have earlier plays because I can play it as a Llanowar Elf on turn 2. It's not like insane, but it's kind of legit. Gives you some early plays and some land drops. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is where I'm going to be the next time that you see me streaming this deck. You can call for it. Yep, you can. If you're calling for something, you're very often going to be calling for either Steve or Raminap or Druid, but I mean, you can call for it if you really need it. I think Tangle, it's good if you have Gracie or Explorer. Not really. Not really, you're just happy to have 32 cards. And again, I cannot really know that unless while having played 0 matches with it, right? Trying actually playing the matches is what gives you a real feel of whether that's true or not. But yeah, I mean, that is probably like one of the most exciting, but at the same time, most overwhelming things about this style of deck is just there are so many ways to build it. It's like you can go so many different directions, and each direction that you take just switches the way that you're supposed to build the deck considerably. It's such a mess. Landfall Mana Guy is better with Vial. You talking about Lotus Cobra? Lotus Cobra is actually a card that I never tried. The problem with Lotus Cobra is that if you don't like, if they just Lava Dart it, that's it. Like you just spent 2 mana and the Cobra died, and that's all she wrote. that's all that happened right there. But I could see building like a little bit more towards Lotus Cobra. That could be exciting. All right, that's another one that I said that I was going to try out, and then I ended up never trying it. So let's try that out next time. Is there a crazy universe where we'll play Stone for Mystic and Sun's Wars? You're at that point. It's just so many slots, GG. It's so many slots. As I was saying in like earlier, like you can probably build like a Yorion deck of this, a Yorion version of this deck where you can probably do that. I don't know how good it's gonna be. Could be sweet though. But it's just the whole package is just so many cards. We just don't have that kind of room. Skewed Swarm. I tried the Skewed Swarm. It was okay. I wasn't impressed by it, so I cut it. Corbett was good back when I played for Cross He with lots of fetches. Well, we're not playing lots of fetches. Though I think that I want to play one more. And cut the Cavern of Souls. I made the flip land mana guy. Yeah, it's here. Cavern seems like it's a meme in a deck like this. No, I mean it's there for the same reason that you're playing Castle Garenberg, right? The thing is that Castle just comes up so much more because very often you're using Castle mana to activate Reclaimer and like play a Dryad and something else in the same turn. So like Castle sometimes is just Ancient Tomb for the purposes of this deck. So well, you can tick up, you can afford to play a tap land. If you don't need to, you can pile it in. Well, I mean, it's the same thing. You could just cast it, right? In fact, I would be even less interested in a card like this in Titan Vial because there's just no reason for it. Like, Vial is just making all the mana that you need. So since you don't have an engine like Vial in a deck like this, you are a little bit slower out of the gates. And a little bit less explosive, so having a card like this might kind of help bridge the gap. And a Florahedron might help smooth out your draws, because it's going to be the 32nd land in our deck, which is nice. But if I were to be playing something like Titan Vial, I wouldn't be interested in playing that guy, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, the truth is that personally, I think that Vial does a lot for this deck, and it smooths out draws in ways that people really undervalue. So personally, I think that I'm still a fan of playing Aether Vial in this kind of deck, but you know, I'm kind of trying other things because of meta shifts and stuff. So without playing Vials, we have room for playing Path to Exiles in the main deck. Although that might be another way that we can build Titan Vial, actually. So we could cut the Thalias and play Paths in the main deck instead. What if we build Titan Vial like this? And now all of a sudden, our prowess matchup game 1 might be a little bit better. Huh. Interesting. This is why I like doing these debriefs with chat, you know, because I sometimes might randomly stumble into a thought that I hadn't really considered on my own. So now it's like we're bridging the gap between these and these. Huh. Okay. That's yet another thing to give a shot to. What is the reason for Gaia's on the side? Because of Mill. Mill is pretty bad. Alright, GG, have a good one. Play the flip land over Lurrus. Yeah, I mean, as I just said, I don't think that Titan Vial needs the flip land as much as this deck does. Because Vial is doing a lot of the bridging, right? Bridging the gap towards your mid to late game where you get to do a bunch of things. This is interesting. I hadn't really considered this before. So that's cool. Thanks, chat. Thanks for making me think about this. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I will see you in the next video. Have a great weekend, and bye-bye.